Covert tactical operations, deep-sea missions, underwater bomb disposal. This is the dangerous and secretive world of the Navy's elite clearance divers. One of the most extreme military jobs in the world. To become clearance divers, candidates must first conquer the Navy's most intense training program. It will take them to the limits of their mental and physical endurance. Only the toughest will make it.
Do you want to be seen as the guy who comes last on this Evolution 24?
First, our new recruits face the acceptance test.
Let's go, Five! Get your fins off!
A grueling 10-day ordeal designed to weed out the weak. 27 men tried out, only 14 were made of the right stuff and passed the test. Next, they faced the dangerous first phase of the course, deep air.
Both divers, main bottom, ventilated well.
The pressure on mind and body was intense. Diving to extreme depth proved too much for Brodie Limbury. He suffered excruciating pain in his sinuses and was dropped from the team. Now the remaining 13 face the punishing nightmare of maritime tactical operations where sleep will become a distant memory.
Up at 5:30, PT for an hour and a half. We'll dive up to lunch, have lunch, and then dive again, and then dive up till dinner, and then have dinner, and then dive up to about 10:30, 11, and then pushies out we go, and then to bed, and it's usually about 12:30.
Halfway through the course, the work rate has picked up dramatically. It's all part of the Navy's systematic approach to training its elite special forces.
Get them tired, get them weak, because that's what it's going to be like when they get to the diving teams and they go on exercises and operations overseas.
Clearance divers must carry out clandestine missions behind enemy lines under exhausting conditions.
Although their bodies tell them that it's had enough and they want to shut down, they know their mind can still go on, and I think that's probably it in a nutshell with us. You know, they break the body down and still use the head.
Good drive, let's get up there. Push it through. Good work, Toddy. Go.
Keep going all the way top, drive your arms.
Ex-rugby league footballer Gareth Foy knows teamwork will be critical, but as the oldest by at least 10 years, he could be their weakest link.
These 34-year-old legs, they try and keep up with these young scallywags, but you know, they tend to struggle and then run out of juice a lot quicker than these boys.
Go, boys, let's go, mate.
I know, I feel like a rhinoceros in quicksand when I'm galloping through the sand. Putting a lot of effort in, but not moving real far, so...
All right, line out, boys.
The only failing in life is not to try at all. If you have a go and don't succeed, it's better to try and find out that and walk away and close that chapter on your life.
Come on, boys. Come on. Push yourselves off.
In maritime tactical operations, it's crucial to remain undetected. The men must learn to use a bubble-free diving set that recycles their expired breath.
You see what's happening there? Who's breathing through their nose? Yeah, you don't want bubbles on the surface. They give you away.
Because the operations are conducted at night, the men must also be able to navigate in dangerous and disorientating conditions.
Try and make it all the way across the paddock there and hit one of those stumps, tree stumps, the one on the left.
Get down.
Stop. Have a look, mate. Pretty good.
No, that's all right.
All liners speed up, second time, ready for the water. Roger. Put them in the water, check for leaks. Up flag Alpha. Up flag Alpha.
Simulating wartime conditions, they must be able to swim long distances swiftly and silently.
All right, Mobsy. Concentrate on your dive, mate. Smash it out.
They're one in the water.
So we drop them off here at the 2,000 yard mark, and from there they leave surface, and then every 10 minutes they come up, they make sure that their bearing's right, and then continue on, and they've got 60 minutes to get to the target, which is the corner of the wharf.
You get a lot of tide and current rushing through, and some of the boys will actually, it'll deviate them on their course and cause them a few extra minutes of finning in the wrong direction. Yeah, it's hard. It's bloody hard.
Trainee Tom Mobbs, who is redoing this phase of the course after serious illness, is already in trouble.
Personally, I'm struggling. Physical, like PT, that's hard. Even things like staying awake is hard to do.
What I got right, I got wrong.
Go! Go! No, you now have 45 seconds to make a triangle. Go!
During the long dives and brutal fitness sessions, mistakes and poor teamwork are penalised with team push-ups.
Time, too slow. That's now 50 push-ups you owe me when we get back.
They continue to mount up through the day and can tally into the hundreds.
10 seconds. Go. Sprint, boys. 5 seconds.
Timing is everything as new and ever-shrinking deadlines are applied.
I'm not going to keep going over and over the same things. Get in here, get your set sorted, and get ready for the next dive. It's the last time I'm going to talk about it.
To simulate a covert rescue operation, the men use portable sonar to hone in on a distress signal.
Oh, red team's got off to a good start. If they haven't got their volume and their frequency set right, then they could be swimming all over the place. They'll swim straight past it. I think old Foisey, the footballer, he's a bit more on in age and probably had a few more belts around the head than the other guys. As soon as he went down, he took off in the complete opposite direction. So I think he's having a bit of dramas just trying to differentiate the sounds coming through to him at the moment. You peanut, we can hear the 2 alpha from up here, mate, which means that it's too loud, and that's probably why you're getting nowhere near the target. Bloke's like living on the edge, 2 minutes 58.
You owe me 200 push-ups. Check your sheets filled in incorrectly.
Petty Officer Barnes is increasingly unhappy with the men's poor performance.
I'm not going to keep going over and over the same things for the same people, and I know who it is.
The push-up count continues to grow. Push-ups not completed by lights out are carried forward to the next day.
It's going, we've got 5 minutes before it's midnight.
Close to midnight, they try to put a dent in the backlog.
Slow it down, 6, 7,
Divers are tracking that way.
The men are overwhelmed with fatigue, so Petty Officer Genders begins complex mission training. He introduces new equipment and detailed procedures for infiltrating an enemy beach.
And just release the apple float. Yep.
As clearance divers, retaining this information will be critical.
What are we doing?
All divers cleared up for the second time, ready for the water.
Force one up.
We're teaching them how to do a reconnaissance search. So basically they'll go in and come up, have a look at the beach, and go back down, lay a grid underwater. Basically what it's for is an amphibious force that might come in later on, maybe be the army or something like that. We're going in first, making sure that it's the correct place that they can land. There's no objects or mines or something in there they're going to hit if they come in. It will get a lot worse once we start loading them up with extra gear like weapons and things like that. And also when they do a survey, there's even more string and augers and pegs that they're going to use. I really think they're going to get in there and basically get all tangled up.
Are they moving?
I think they're a little bit confused, mate.
That guy
over there was going practically west, so he went the wrong way. This guy is doing a 330, was he's meant to be 35, so... The mental fatigue will be starting to kick in now. They probably missed a lot of the finer points that they were told to follow now, so... But I think the mental fatigue will be their biggest drama at the moment, more than their physical.
Any more eggs, Andy? Yeah, probably going to run out.
Even with food, the men must reach targets.
Calories, they reckon they should be getting at least 18,000 calories a day. That's pretty high. It's extremely high. More than probably 3 times or 4 times what an average person would consume.
That's 5 a day.
One more plate steak here? No? You all right? All right.
Food helps fight physical fatigue, but there is little they can do to combat the psychological effects of no sleep, endless diving and unattainable deadlines.
10 seconds. 10.
Just come over. Ricky, just run over here.
Just come over, mate.
Just beat.
All right, front support, let's go.
Some of the men are beginning to feel trapped.
You tired, so you stuff up and then you be punished like with extra push-ups. That drags into your own time, so then you get even less sleep and then you stuff up some more the next day. Yeah, so it just keeps rolling.
It just feels a bit frustrating when they say, there's no teamwork here, you're not putting in, and yeah, you think, damn, I've been busting my ass.
Get up. Get him up, get him up.
Trainee Tom Mobbs, who's been given a rare second chance, knows only too well the impact this training can have.
I came off this phase of the course with pneumonia at about the same point as that we are now. And I was lucky enough to be able to have a second shot at it at the end of the end of the year. And I guess I've come so far, I just don't want to stop now. I've done so much of the course, I just want to see the end of it. When I talk to my mother about it, she sort of thinks, why do they keep you up for such long hours and why do they work you so hard? Well, I guess that's what mothers are for.
You're running around like a madman, and it's just like the candle burning at both ends slowly, and you become sort of intoxicated.
Clearance diving is a young man's game. Trainee Foy knows he has only a small window of opportunity to achieve his dream.
When I was young, I looked at joining the clearance diving branch, and I had a partner who I'd just recently moved in with, and she didn't really want me to go at the time. And as time went on and you know, water goes under the bridge, it was something that she felt I had to endeavour to succeed at, and you know, just throw my hat in the ring and see if you can come up trumps.
That didn't count. That didn't count either.
10 for trying.
Say again?
10 for trying.
What part of the course aren't you trying in then?
No parts.
Well, then why do you get a 10? Chins.
Another week has passed. The men are now conducting continuous operations through the night.
Start in the afternoon, PT in the afternoon, and sort of work through the whole night. It's sort of like the end of the day now at 6 o'clock in the morning.
They have now reached brain-numbing levels of sleep deprivation.
I'm pretty tired, man. Pretty tired.
Why don't you tell the boys what you're doing? They're doing.
I'm just straightening out the line for you.
You've got a really important job at the moment. Your brain sort of keeps on wanting to go fast because you know that there's things you need to do, but I don't know, you just sort of laugh a bit, hey? Everything's a bit funny. Nothing.
You just forget the most basic stuff It's just unbelievable. That 1 minute they tell you not to do something like don't walk on the patio, and you tell everyone, and about 5 seconds later, people walk on the patio, which is worth 100 push-ups off the bat.
The push-up tally has blown out to a soul-destroying number.
So we're up to 1,700. 700 of those come from walking on the patio, so it's kind of annoying. Bit,
it's 1,700.
Bit over at the moment.
Who you got the other? Like 700.
From walking on the patio.
Oh shit. No, that's the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one, dog.
It's right at the men's lowest point that the instructors apply the maximum pressure. They now demand the impossible.
Usually this time we're going to bed. We've been given a timing, which is in about 15 minutes to muster for one of the POs, and we believe it's for the push-ups that we owe. If we did it in sets of 10, we'd have to do 170 sets of 10. If you did it every minute, a set of 10 a minute, it's nearly 3 hours.
You're just so over it, you're like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, there's so many people, well, 99% of the world doesn't have to go through this shit.
I know every one of us has wanted to turn around and just put one on the chin of the instructors.
Now that the men have reached their breaking point, it's the older, wiser Gareth Foy that has the answers.
Stay down, stretch, bang, back into them. When you think you can't go on that extra step, you just shut thoughts like that out and you just keep going. You just focus on what you're doing at that moment in time. Because if you looked at the whole 6 weeks after the first week, you'd be thinking, Jesus, this is never going to end.
They will attempt the 1,700 push-ups in sets of 25.
Let's go.
Up, right.
Any mistakes, like knees on the ground, will mean starting that set again. This will take hours.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 475 to go. 2, 3, 4, 5. 350. 3, 4, 5. 275. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. Good job, boys. 200 go.
With the end in sight, trainee Tom Mobbs is struggling to keep up and he's feeling the pressure.
It's tough. You know that if you can't do the next 10 push-ups, then the boys are going to struggle and you're going to start from zero again.
22, 23, 24, 25. Get him up, get him up.
There he goes. Righto, on your knees, start from zero. This exercise, man, is very much teamwork. Don't stick your head at the ground and get into your own little world. There's no point half-years banging them out nice and quick and the other blokes can't even keep up.
To get Mobbs through, the team must work together. Trainee Foy takes charge.
The one and only thing we do here, boys, we do it for each other. That's it. Don't worry about anything else. We do it for each other, so we do them properly. For your mates. For your mates.
Hey, let's go.
All together, boys. You're there with another bunch of 12 other guys that are going through exactly the same thing as you. So you look at the bloke next to you, and he's got the same grimace on his face as what you have, or he's showing what you're feeling, you know, and it draws on everyone to pull in and bond together because you are going through the same things at the same time, and you have got that common bond together. Right, let's go. 15. 23. 24, come on, boys. 24. Let me rest in the wait. Get him up. Wait. Go, Mobsy. 3, 2, 1. Go, Mobsy. 3, 4. One more, boys. One more. Rest. Focus, Mobsy. One more. Come on, boys, mate. It's not perfect. Go. Pump it up. Let's go. 3. Let's go. When you're ready. 25. That's it.
Right, mate, boys, that's the most teamwork I've seen you blokes show in 5 weeks. Pity it took you to end of the 5th week to get it out, but better late than never, eh?
Now Petty Officer Barnes is happy that he has the makings of a fighting force. He orders testing to begin.
It's like the grand final for the boys. So everyone's just, because we've been working up for this for the last few weeks, everyone's just going mad, going flat out to try to get everything done on time, make sure we make the timings to start out with, because if we start well, no doubt we'll finish well. So yeah, we're all excited, we're all pumped.
They will now be assessed on their ability to operate as a team and complete a clandestine tactical operation. This is the closest they will come in their training to a real combat mission. It's important to consider the consequences of coming face to face with an enemy.
Are you prepared to kill someone? And we'd all want to think we could do it, and I'd hope every one of the boys would be able to do it in that situation and be able to cope with it after.
I don't think I'm ready. I can't really see myself being a killer or anything like that. Going out there and actually killing someone, yeah, I suppose it's a little bit freaky.
I don't want to go to war with anyone, but obviously, if push came to shove, you'd like to know that you've got the best training under your belt to put you in a position where whatever you need to do is going to be a success, and you're going to minimise the potential of endangering yourself and endangering your fellow oppos.
During this mission, the techniques the men will use underwater must remain classified. They cannot be revealed for reasons of national security.
The environments that we could potentially end up in, you know, whether it be over in Iraq or Timor, wherever they do send us, you can't have, to do this type of work, I don't think you can have mentally weak people. You have one cog in that chain that's not doing his job properly, then he can potentially tangle everybody up. Really, all this is about teamwork and getting in as smoothly and out as smoothly as possible without compromising themselves.
The mission is over, but it's been a difficult night.
I think the boys would have had trouble down there, actually. It was probably the most craziest I've ever done so far. Viz was, yeah, zero, absolute zero. I'd put your watch to your mask and still couldn't even see what the time was. So, and plus with 10 blokes down there, lines attached to each and every one of them, I suppose it's a recipe for disaster.
Yes, mate, how'd you go?
It will be up to the underwater supervisor to pass or fail the men.
Once we sort of got going, once you drop below 4 metres, zero visibility whatsoever. Just trying to keep 10 blokes together with no vis, it was a nightmare. But all in all, with the fact that couldn't see, it was rock and rolling 3 and 4 metres, we had so much weed floating around us it wasn't funny. Boys smashed it, they were really good. I was actually pretty impressed with the fact that they stayed together as a group. Communications was hopeless because I honestly couldn't see your buddy. And the boys stayed together really well. They did exactly what I wanted, so it was pretty good.
Good dive, you are progressing. I was quite happy with you today, which I haven't been in the past, so good stuff today. Any questions?
We've passed all of our testing. The boys really turned it on for that. Again, we seem to have a little bit of a trend where we start out a little bit rough, and midway through we have a bit of a shake-up, and then we finish quite strong. So, yeah, everyone's really wrapped with how it went.
Relief. It's been 6 weeks. It's been pretty hard, but it's just something we have to go through, I guess. It's just part and parcel of what we do.
Anything that's hard is also vastly rewarding. So yeah, just whatever you put into something, I think you can get out of, and when the chips are down, you really, you keep going that extra yard, and you seem to gain that intestinal fortitude.
Okay, squeeze in more.
From now looking outwards in at what I've done, yeah, it's been such a large learning curve and something that I'm very proud to say I've been a part of with the rest of these guys.
There were 13 men at the start of this phase. Against the odds, they have all made it through. Next on Navy Divers.
Firing!
It's the final and most hazardous phase of the men's training. Deployed to a remote island, in extreme conditions above and below the water, the pressure is relentless and the danger ever present.